What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another SLA video. All right, folks, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. A few things I want to talk about real quick before I go on with the video. First off, I want to say a big shout out to everybody who joined the live stream yesterday. We did a $200 package giveaway. For those who donated, one lucky winner, all required was $5. One lucky winner won a $200 package. So I want to say a big shout out to Jules KC, who won that package, which provided him merch, one large hoodie, one large sweater, one large t-shirt valued at $150. All my merch, including a signed novel that I'll be delivering directly to him with all of that things. All you have to do was join. It was $5, 30 total donations from everybody. So for all those who donated, I want to say a quick shout out to everyone who did donate. We have Tanjiro, Lorenzo, Kazality, Toby, Jules KC, who was the winner, just for me, Praneeth, Carlos, Greg Watts, Fahad, Rudik, Hamza, Edward, Kesathempu, Chastin, Zero, and Otto. All of those guys who joined and donated multiple times. We had one winner through a wheel draw, and we'll do more of these packages throughout the month. Also want to quickly remind everybody, the support program is still going on, guys. Get yourself 3 codes. I sent out all the codes this morning to all new supporters. That's going to give you 500 Essence Stones, one Hunter exclusive ticket for the red tickets to craft your SSR weapons, 500k gold, plus 100 ruin stones, and some mana power elixir too. So if you have not done so, go click that support button. Now, couple things I want to talk about. Some of you guys, after my video this morning from the WOBL, were asking me how I was able to get my power so high up. I want to give you guys a couple tips and tricks on the battle tiers. You guys can see I finally hit the next battle tier on my free-to-play. On pay to win, it's pretty straightforward, right? You pay to win, you get everything up. Makes sense. Easy to do. Now, I want to talk a little bit about power tricks. Made a video a couple weeks ago on this already, and there were some things I did want to cover that I didn't expand on a little bit more. And again, majority of your power is going to come from 2 different places that you normally would not really focus on. Okay, one of them, of course, was the Armory. We've already spoken about Armory. They're adding a 3rd page this coming patch. So in 5 days, we're going to see a patch here that's going to give us a brand new Armory page. So one thing I do want to remind everybody is to start conserving all of your mark number 1s and mark number 2s. Okay, so these marks here and these marks here. Okay, now number 2s, of course, can be used to update the current 2 pages you guys have, but mark number 1s you should absolutely keep. Now, some of you guys are going to ask the common question, well, Payne, if you go to the Armory and try to unlock one of these new slots and it forces you to use your marks, what do? Because ideally you want to use your Essence Stones to unlock these and use your marks to level them up, right? That's the fastest power gain. So if it does force you guys to use the marks instead, all you guys have to do is go into the crafting section, guys, and craft a few of these level 2s with your level 1s until you dip below the required amount, and then you use your Essence Stones, and then you can use your mark of 1s to update. Ideally, you want to get the entire page fully decked out. Now, with that being said, though, of course, many of us are saving our Essence Stones for characters, so keep in mind it all depends on what you want to do. Some people are going to want the power gain instantly because they're either trying to beat certain content, or some of you guys were going to want to save all of that Essence Stones for the characters and then focus on the Armory later. Now, Armory does give you a massive boost in power, right? And that's something to remember. Like my Armory, for example, is at 144k. That's a big chunk of my power coming from there. And then, of course, that's going to be something you're going to want to focus on, especially with Yogamon coming out. We're going to have a lot of resources coming in when it comes down to actual content, because we have the brand new hard mode reverse coming out, which is going to give us a ton of raid up tickets, plus Essence Stones, plus everything else along the way, including gold, and hopefully marks of time as well too, plus shadow stuff. And that's really what you want to use that to kind of build around your account. Now, another thing that some people are asking me about is gems. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't go for power necessarily. I'm going for what matters the most, which is stats. So for this section here, the orange section, you absolutely want to go precision still across the board. Precision is still the best thing to do all the way across with all your level 5s. Over here, you want to go HP percentage if you have it for the most part. You guys can see I have a couple additional HPs, but they won't work as well. I'm just waiting to get my HP percentages, and then I'll move on from there. And then here, it's up to you. If your hunters are lacking it, then you want to go additional attack, or if you want to focus on SJW, then you go attack percentage. Okay, you guys can see I have a lot of rank 4 attack percentages. I could replace them for these, but it's not worth it because the attack percentage is a bigger boost to SJW than it is for the hunter. So flat attack for hunters, SJW gets himself this instead. All right, so very important to remember that, guys. Now, when it comes down to the greens, you absolutely want to do for power when it comes down to CP, damage reduction gives you the most, but additional defense and defense percentage at level 5, depending on the percentage number you have, will give you the most. Now you guys can see I can get more power putting damage reduction in, but again, I prefer my stats because my main team is Gunhee, Thomas, and Min, and Gunhee and Thomas obviously scale off defense, so you want as much defense as you possibly can. And over here, I've got myself mostly MP reduction stats. You can go additional MP if you want, MP reduction, but the one that gives you the most power is actually going to be speed. So if I were to, let's say, reduce this even further, and I put the 145, for example, it will actually reduce my total power quite a bit if I take away the speed ones, right? So you guys can see 155, 180. I got an 81 here that I can obviously replace with MP reduction if I want to. I'll show you the difference in power here. You'll see I'll probably drop a little bit. There you guys can see it is a drop. So MP reduction, unfortunately, is a drop in comparison to the other two, depending on the number. But overall, I think it's the most important stat. Some people would disagree. I think MP reduction is way more important. So that's a big one here as well, too. That'll give you guys some more power, depending if you want to inflate your combat power versus actually have the proper stats. If you're inflating your combat power, then you want damage reduction, attack percentage, additional attack, mixed bag of that. Believe it or not, healing given actually gives you the most here versus the other two. Here, crit damage will give you the most, and here speed will give you the most, right? And that's inflation of power only. So I want to make sure people understand that there's a difference between what is good versus what is an inflation of power. So fluff, let's say that. So Remnant power is another one here. A lot of people have been asking, Payne, are you going to finish your Remnant power? To be honest, I do want to finish it, but right now, as it stands, it's more important for me to do the core breaks. So for me, Baron at 42 was enough for now. I am going to push this even further once I have more time to do, or once I'm done my cores, I guess. I'm going to push a little bit more here, but I feel like with Yogamog coming out, guys, this is going to be a lot more difficult to get through. So this is going to take a backseat at 42. I will eventually push this to 50, but don't forget, Yogamog coming out is also going to be a Remnant of power, which is going to stack in your favor as well, and you may want to use him depending on his skill tree. So very important to remember that it doesn't necessarily mean you have to finish Baron. I stopped at 42k. Some people push it all the way. I believe 50 is the max, right? So some people push it to that. I stopped at 42k, and that for me was enough to get everything I needed or I wanted out of that system. And then lastly, Army of Shadows. Now this is a tricky one. Now a lot of you guys are obviously know about the army level. We've talked about this numerous times. There's one other one here that some people are not really doing correctly. Even though it is smart to level up your skills of your main ones, you also want to make sure you go across the board and level up every skill equally. And this is important to get all of your shadows to at the very least, to the elite rank. Now, when you get to elite rank, you can actually start leveling up their skills. It doesn't matter if you use a shadow or not. You guys can see here, I have been leveling them up equally. It doesn't actually show you this, but you actually do gain power. It's about 100 something per skill. So it is important to actually go through every single shadow and give them a little bit of love when it comes down to their skills. The further you push their ranks, the more skills obviously open up, which means the more power you can get by getting these up. So it is important actually to push this as well too with your promotions. If you don't push your promotions, you won't unlock the skills. If you don't unlock the skills, you don't get as much power. So it is actually pretty critical to do all your skills evenly across the board and then move on to your best ones. Another one also that matters quite a bit is going to be your weapons. So getting your weapons up is going to be a big one, but don't forget, weapons do require you to use your traces of shadows, which in turn require you to use in order to get your rank up. So you're going to have to do a little bit of a balancing act here in terms of what's more important. For me personally, I think getting promotion is bigger because it also increases your total army size. Not your total army power, your total army size, which in turn allows you to push it even further for how much army power you can get. But at the same time, it is going to open up the skill section, which is actually much easier to level up. Now, to get the skill scrolls you can get them through the gates right over here, right? Which is a big one. And then you can also get them through the store every single day for free by getting the advanced mana crystals right over here, the mana crystal exchange shop, right? Always make sure you purchase the 5 that are here. It is going to be a big deal for you in the long run. I almost forgot to do this. Look at this. So make sure, guys, you guys are collecting the advanced mana crystals. Make sure you're logging in to do this and you're getting those things done. Now, if you follow those tips, the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Yes, artifacts make a difference. Yes, dupes make a difference, of course, but those are the smaller things, the little details that people are forgetting. Also, another big one that many people forget is you can actually level up SJW skills, right? So for him specifically, going in here and just saying, okay, you know what, I want to level this up, for example, will actually give you more power. So if, let's just say I wanted to do these ones, right? Let's just say I do this 24. I'll do this right, like 285 power right there. So there's a lot, even for me right now, that I can just go in here and just level up just to have them completed, right? And it doesn't take much effort. It just takes a little bit of scrolls, and that will get you guys, an extra, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, depending where you are in regards to your levels of extra power that you could just utilize and boost up your rank in total. So if you guys go back here to the battle tier now, you guys can see I went up a little bit higher because of that level. It's a pretty big jump from 51 to 52. It's actually probably the biggest jump I've seen, but it's not impossible. So focus on those things, guys. Same thing applies to your hunters. Don't forget, they also have skills, right? And their skills are important to level up. There's a lot of them that you can put some effort into, especially if you have the mana power extracts and if you have the extra scrolls to do so. It's worth it because even though it's a small number, when you accumulate all of them throughout your main teams, it actually does put a pretty big dent in the actual right over here. Like for example, right, that's 237 for her now. It puts a pretty big dent into your battle tier and will help you gain power much easier. So don't forget this, guys. This is a big one. And then of course, lastly, the weapons for SJW, they also matter as well too. So the more you build these up, the more love you put into these, the more you're going to get out of them and the more power you're going to receive as well too when you're using those weapons. All right, folks, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.